Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Steven's Sausage Roll, where the number is still going up. It feels like it is slowed down a little bit, but it's still going. Okay. Immediate loud discordant sounds. So let's do some puzzles. Let's get out of here, get over somewhere, and figure out how to do a puzzle. Okay, I remember this one. Let's see if we can break this. So this feels like the one that I gave, the last one that I gave real thought to. But it has been a couple of days. I have had a weekend and it was lovely. I hope yours was as well. And hopefully with a fresh brain I can do something here. So there's a ladder on the other side of that, yes. So what I was wondering for a moment there briefly is whether it might be possible to climb up there with a stabbed sausage, but it would have to be a sausage that we have stabbed vertically, and obviously we do not want to stab this sausage vertically, so probably not. The real issue here, the core problem that we're having with this one, is just that we can't figure out how to get this thing around the corner. That sausage up there is in such an easy cook it and then roll it down position that it honestly makes me really wonder if that is the wrong thing to do. You know, it seems like such a gimme that it almost must be a trick, a red herring. Maybe. I don't know. That's not solid logic. It's like there's a real easy version of this to imagine where we roll that sausage down. We climb up on there, get on top of that sausage, roll it down, roll it across here, step up onto that platform, and then from there finish the level somehow. But the only issue with that is that it requires this sausage to already be on the only grill that can be accessed that way. Right, so there's nowhere to roll it to that would be of any use. This one really feels like I'm just missing one little piece of the puzzle, one tiny understanding. The smallest possible count of understandings. Looking at this though, like being logical about this, there isn't actually another way to interact with this sausage, is there? There's nothing we can do except climb up on top of it and roll it over. So at that point, the only actual question is whether you roll it down onto the ground or onto the other sausage, right? Like it is absolutely the case that the only way to interact with this thing is this until such time as it is here. It's interesting. So what do we make of it? Rolling it on top of the other sausage doesn't actually do anything, right? All it means is that we have... Well, okay, it's not nothing. Let's see. We could We could set this sausage up to be like this in that position. And then if we roll it, well, no, I'm not going to be able to retrieve it, right? I can get it back as long as it's adjacent to this thing. But if I set it here, this is like the half thought that I was having. Do that, step up here, roll this across so that it's like awkward and off to the side. And then if you can roll that other sausage around, you could get this like, you could break this off on one of the stationary platforms or something. Maybe we could find something to do with that. But unfortunately, it doesn't actually work that way. We will never, under any circumstances, be able to get this sausage back. There's not even a wall to stab it against. So... it is actually not entirely trivial to get this over here. So, I mean, there's this thing, right? We can stack them up, and then we can move them together. Does this do anything for us? Is this helpful? We know some tricks that we could use to sort of desync their positions. But the problem is, I cannot think of a place where I could drop the one sausage, the already cooked one, where it would have any effect on this puzzle at all. Right? The problem is always, apparently, going to be that we have to push that uncooked sausage through a corner in a way that we simply cannot. And as far as I can tell, there's no way to use... yeah, there's no way to use any of the elements of the puzzle to, like, get on top of it when it would otherwise... yeah, to get on top of it, to roll it around that way. We can't roll it around the corner by just pushing it with our fork. Yeah, this one's difficult. Conceptually. So to push it up to here so that it occupies these two spaces. Like, there's in theory a version of that where we could get on top of it and roll it. I don't know how I would manage that. I would have to have... this thing would have to be less cooked than it is, right? If, in theory, we could somehow... if we could somehow get this into this position such that we could also have ourselves on top of this thing. We walk across here, walk up onto that, then roll it with our feet, and then dismount like that. But there's no way to set up the get on and off of the wall. Yeah, all of the solutions I can think of require having ladders that we don't have, or additional sausages. Obviously, somewhat problematic. Yeah, I don't know. Is there any way, is there in fact any way at all to get this thing off of its position on the wall here without rolling it like that, without climbing on top of it, rolling it across the grill, and cooking it fully? And the answer is no, right? We could stab that sausage down there, carry it up the ladder that's on the south side of those blocks, but having it up here isn't super helpful no matter how we go about it. Yeah, it would have to be... we would have to have stabbed it from the left side in order to get it up the ladder in the first place, in order to be able to get my body to the ladder. And then, yeah, I could walk around with it a little bit, but I wouldn't be able to get down into this corner next to the ladder. And even if I could, I couldn't climb the ladder. So yeah, it's definitely not... There is absolutely nothing to do with this one sausage except cook it. And then roll it down the... log roll it down off the platform. Because obviously once we've gotten onto it, there's no other way off. The thing that is still getting me, the thing that still has me wondering what it is that I'm missing, is this half ladder on the west side of that rock there, or on the east side of that rock. Why do we need a half ladder there when we have two perfectly good ladders over here? It's not like there could be some secret strategy that involves getting into this position, because you can do so trivially. They built a walkable path here. The only way you'd be able to get up it would be... Yeah. I don't know. It does feel like I am just the littlest bit lost. I mean, okay, so like whatever the solution to the puzzle is, it's going to be achievable from this position, right? It's like, here are the things that we cannot not do. Oops, don't actually take that off of there yet. Even if they're not supposed to be stacked, it's easy enough to destack them from here. Let's just pull this over. Okay. From this position, the solution must be doable, because everything that we've done so far is either reversible, like stacking the sausages, or is a thing that had to happen, like the cooking of the upper sausage. Okay. Solution is some subset of these things. It's something you can reach in the graph of movements from here. Okay. No different physics or anything. I was wondering if maybe there's something I don't understand. Maybe some basic element that I was missing. Out of curiosity, this still works the same way. Yeah, okay. It's actually a completely non-trivial stab. There's not really a clean way to remove that. We know that Stephen will not just walk off the platform, even if the sausages would, in theory, prevent him from falling. So he simply does not have the trust. I guess I see why. If any force at all tries to separate him from the fork, it just like flies right out of his hands. So I suppose the sausages probably would not save him. Yeah, I cannot think of any way that having a stabbed sausage at this point is helpful. The only thing we could do is, if we stab them, we can, like, theoretically climb back up the ladder. but I can't scrape them off. I can't cook them. Yeah. So it does feel like whatever it is, it's going to have to be down here. That makes intuitive sense. I was just trying to verify it. Yeah, I'm real flummoxed on this one. This is I think the puzzle I have felt the most helpless on so far of everything that we've played. And so we may be bailing on this one to come back to it later. I'll tell you what, one way that I think would be a good way to handle this, if I make no progress during this episode, if we don't solve even a single puzzle this episode, I will come back with a solution ready. I will ensure before I record again that I have at least one solution figured out so that it doesn't feel like we've hit a complete halt. All right, so we can roll the sausage across here if we can get the right setup. And in this case, the right setup almost certainly includes us rolling the sausage with no fork in hand. Because unfortunately, there is no way to fit ourselves into the canal there between the trees while still being able to swing around, to face the direction we need to face to be rolling the sausage. So we can engineer a fall that will rob us of our fork. Right? Can we? Is that... Hold on. Is that true? I'm starting to feel mighty doubtful now. What exactly would be my plan? Because there's no ladder over here. There's no secondary ladder up onto the middle peg that would allow me to get up onto the sausage that I'm standing next to. How are we going to take advantage of the 3-high tower over there? I wonder. It does seem like it's just a little bit... We can pretty easily get one sausage stacked on top of another. And like this is the way that we would get on top of stuff, right? So the idea is, oh well, what am I talking about? I see how you would get all the sausages stacked up. The problem is just that you need to do this, and then we got to pick up the 2 stack, right? It is easiest if I am allowed to pick these up from the left side. So let's get this one out of the way. Walk around here and separate this from the wall. Alright, so we then head down here, set this up underneath. It's kind of a lot of pushing. Oops. Don't want to do that yet. Or at all, probably. Okay. So now... if I do this, climb up here, stop up on this sausage, aim this way. There we go. Okay. Except that I guess I needed to set that up with them off the stone vertically. Yeah, okay, hold on. They're going to have to be in these columns so that we can dismount after we do this. Oops. There we go. Now we can actually get down. And with the ability to get down comes, in theory, the ability to guide a sausage across the middle area. The question is, how do we... Well, actually, is it okay to just line all three of these up and then... No, not really. Okay. So, like, proof of concept here. So we're going to have to do that thing where we roll the sausage onto that grill and then push it upwards through to get it up there, but I'm not actually clear on how we do that. If I had one more sausage behind it, we could have... No, I guess we kind of do want all three sausages, don't we? Just because we want that much push. I was a little worried about bouncing a sausage onto... a little worried about bouncing a sausage onto the burner before we were fully ready, but actually I don't think it's going to be a concern. So, actually, let me do this a little bit differently because I want to be able to... Shoot. Oh, no, this will work, right? No, that just rolls them like that. Shoot. How do I get that top sausage off of there? I guess if I swap their positions, pushing the so that the stacked up one is in front, pushing it through the tree area will do it. Pushing it through the tree area won't actually work though, because we have a fundamental problem where I am in the space that the sausage gets pushed onto. Right, so if we do this... Yeah, I can't move forward. We could step down and obviously push that the old-fashioned way with just rolling the sausage in front of us while we're on the ground, but all that's going to happen is the top one's going to end up on the other bottom sausage. We're not going to have a way of getting it down. This feels like it shouldn't be that tricky, but like... One real problem here is that I can't push the sausage... I can't push it straight down off of the one that it's on, and I also couldn't push it straight up off of the one that it's on, where we, above the thing. Which is certainly a situation we can set up because of the fact that we won't be able to retrieve it without grabbing our fork, and if we have our fork, we're in a lot of trouble anyway. Okay, there are 3 tiles. Oop, don't do that. I'm just going to move this out of the way real quick with our butt. Okay, here's a thought. Here's a thought I could perhaps do. We can push it one space. And then... Alright, push on the space that doesn't have sausage over top of it. There we go. That'll give us a couple of rolls here. So we put all three of these into sequence. Put them here, get on top of this one, and now see, this allows me to climb down. Push this thing up to here. Oop. Don't want to get on that sausage. Then we can come back down here, do the same thing. Okay, and this time it works because I'm able to walk off of the other sausage to finish the move. We can walk off of it to the upwards. But now I can't get back. Right? Isn't this a huge issue? Yeah. If I were to... Gosh, what do we do about this? The sausages are cooked. Our path is almost complete. Having my fork wouldn't even help, I don't think. Trying to, like, is there a moment here where we could have gone back and gotten it? Because we need to not have it during the moment when we're rolling the sausages over to here. And once we have the three sausages aligned in this location, in theory, anytime after that, we could devise a way to get the thing back. Part of the problem here is that stuff is going to be very cantankerous. Like, I can't move this sausage without ruining everything at all. It can't move up, down, left, and right all just kill us. This doesn't kill us immediately, but obviously it's not helpful, and it is lethal very soon after. If I had my fork, I could push each of these north one. See, okay, if we had our fork, from here, perhaps we could create a bridge. Yeah, push those two north, then roll the one that's on the grill right now by standing in the space below it and doing the turn. Because the rightmost sausage won't fall in the water anymore if it's one tile further north. And then we push the last sausage. Here, let me draw this so that it's not so abstract. So we push these two so they're occupying these spaces instead. Roll them both to the right. So we have one here and one here. And then this one is in the spot this sausage is currently in. Push it up. And now you have three sausages that you can just walk across like a bridge because they're blocked on both horizontal sides. So that's probably the answer. But I think it requires our fork. So there must either be some way of doing that I'm not realizing. Or there's some way of getting our fork back over here. It's hard to imagine, though. Like, how would we get back to it? I mean, without the fork, we definitely can't push these upward. Steven's arms are too short, and he cannot just, like, shove real hard. Let's back the puzzle up a little bit and examine things. It does feel close, doesn't it? All right, so we have a pretty easy, pretty obvious way of making this part work. So the sausages have to have been in these two rows specifically to make it past the trees, right? The trees form a pretty solid gate. Yeah, there's just no way. You have to come over here by riding the sausage, and you have to do it with the fork. Okay. What else could be true? What if the fork was on one of the sausages as we were rolling it through? Could I communicate the sausage, the fork over here on the sausages in a way that would matter? I can't just roll it in front of them because of the way the two gaps to our right are set up. It would definitely fall in the water at some point there. But if I had it... Okay. If at this point we had the fork on the correct sausage, all it has to do is drop onto the ground somewhere in this row, right? And then it'll just keep getting pushed forward by the sausages. So it could just be like on here, and we do the roll, and it just slides forward. Okay, so we need to get back to the point where the fork was still on a sausage, which is like way back, and we have to actually protect that condition. I think this is going to work. It is going to be a minute, however. We are some steps back. Okay. So... we need to be like really careful about this, right? I don't know. For some reason, I thought that was going to work. If I push this like this, then it will fall onto this sausage. But now... okay, so now we need to come down here, create the situation for these to separate. It'd be a lot easier if that were the other way. You know what? Let me do that on the other side. Because if the higher sausage is hanging off on the side I tried it on initially, there's no way to free it without disrupting the situation we have up here. But this way I should be able to push from right here. Okay, now we have 3 sausages on the ground. Now that we have 3 sausages on the ground, we can do this thing And the fork should just roll forward onto the sausages. And we come down here, we reconstruct. Oops. Don't know how I managed to miscount to 3. No, I do. That's me all over. Okay. Push, push. We go over the top this time. This is very clever. These puzzles. It's like a game composed only of the puzzles you would put in the challenge mode of a different puzzle game. So this is sufficient, right? This will drop the fork on the land space next to the water space, if I'm not mistaken. And then it'll just roll with us. And now it's retrievable. Although we don't actually need it yet, and we may as well just do this part without it. Let's push that up there. Do this, walk across. Wait, what am I doing? I still need to... Yeah, we're not done with you yet, actually. Okay. I think we can now pick the fork up. I don't think it's going to affect anything negatively at this point. Everything's cooked, and now we must orchestrate our escape. So prod that up, prod that up. Stand here, execute the roll, prod that up, and now we have 3 captive sausages forming a walkable bridge. There it is. Okay, I feel a lot better now that I've gotten 1. Yeah, that's sneaky. That is a sneaky bit they make you do with the fork on that one. Let's try some others. Let's see if we can get 1 more before the end of the for the end of the episode. At this rate, we will probably finish this puzzle game before the end of the year. So, what do we hear? So again, it strikes me that in order for we gotta get these 2 sausages to serve as a bridge, right? Or it doesn't have to be 2. It could just be 1. I was thinking to just roll it across the gap up there, but actually, it can just be 1 sausage. 1 sausage positioned here, and then we stab that thing, walk it down here, and yeah. And I guess that doesn't leave the sausage that we use to climb in an unrecoverable spot. So actually, it doesn't have to be cooked yet. Although, how am I... There is still the question of how exactly do I intend to get over there in the first place. Alright, well this would have to be... I may be reproducing some work we've already done here. Apologies if I am. Okay, so if we do this, we can climb up here. Ah, and this is the tricky part, right? This is where I need to not have a, I need to not have a fork in order to do what must be done. Okay. Well, it's not all that challenging to lose our fork on this one. No, I have to have this one stabbed. Yeah, hold on. Let me just restart here. If we're gonna climb that ladder. Wait, how do I execute the fall, though? You know, it's not very difficult necessarily. I can't actually scoot that thing upward and across here, can I? So no, it probably would have been more productive to stab it on the other side. Oh, except I can't. Not there, at least. Yeah, stabbing it in the top is going to require a little bit of a team effort from this sausage. There we go. Okay, so now I can do this, walk this up here, and then obviously it's no problem at all to walk off of this thing in a way that's going to it's going to leave my fork behind. Here, I guess. But now we have a different problem, right? Easy enough to do this too. Go back and get my fork. Actually, it's a little tricky. Well, no, I guess I can... Nope, that's a little tricky. The fork doesn't have to fall there. What am I... It could be... Actually, it is not trivial to make it fall anywhere else. Because the way I usually scoop things around corners is, you know, the fork. So I guess you would want it to fall on the other side so you can pick it back up. You can pick it back up before you even fall down. Oh, except you can't, can you? How am I going to end up with that thing in a place that I want it to be in? If I push it down onto... Okay, it does create a bridge. That's kind of fun. And that bridge kind of allows me to come back for it later, which is also kind of fun. Right, because now we can walk over here. I could roll this away from where it currently is, but I can't roll it to a position where I can do anything about it. And also, I'm pretty sure that sausage up there is stuck forever. So I think that one has to get cooked before we start. Now I could, like, I could roll this to a position where I could then dismount by pressing left onto the onto that other sausage if it were stored over here. But I don't know how I would accomplish such a thing. Hold on, what if I... Perhaps I'm being silly here. What if I push this down? Let's not have shoved the fork down yet. Problem. But like, what if I push this down here? I can't ever get my fork back is the answer to that question. It gives me really free traversal, but I don't know how you would use this. Yeah, a big part of the problem with this is where the fork is going to end up. And particularly, how the fork is going to be pointing wherever it ends up. Because as near as I can figure right now, once we lose the fork, there's no way to get it back from either position, either way that it falls. It would be bad. What happens? I'm gonna rewind considerably here. Okay. Oh, never mind. It's not even possible. I was gonna say, what happens if you slide this sausage one square north, such that when you're walking on top of it, you're stabbing the fork into the other sausage up here, but if I put it there, I can't climb on top of it anymore. Well, but I could climb on top of it. Hold on. Climb on top of it, it was here. What happens if you do this? Oh no, we're on the same level as that, so it leaves the fork on top of the sausage. Oh, that's actually useful. That's really good, in fact. Because that puts the sausage in a place where it's retrievable, or the fork, rather, in a place where it's retrievable later. Right, and now I can, in theory, do this, allowing me to reclaim this sausage. And now I have these two and can cook them. Yeah. The only question is the other one. Okay, so restart. Can I cook this in such a way that I can get it back? How do I get it delivered over onto those grills? Because, like, the optimal thing, obviously, would be for it to fall onto the left grill there. And then we just walk it to the right to get it into its position for eventual use. But I don't actually... How would I do that? Actually, I say walk it into its position for eventual use, like that's not going to be a big deal. But like you can't do that. Like get this out of the way for the moment. If you walk it to here so that you can walk off of it and climb down the ladder and stuff, how are you supposed to get it back? Like, assume it's cooked already. I'm not going to be able to, like, re-stab it because of where it is. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to, like, stab it and then carry it out of there. So yeah, even if I did somehow get it delivered at, like, across the top of that thing over there and then roll it to here, this still wouldn't be good enough. I could roll into that position, but I have to lose my fork on this top platform first. So one of two things has to be true. Either we have to be able to cook this first vertical sausage in some way that I don't fully understand, and then recover control of it and walk it over here, or I have to be able to get it back once I've used it as a bridge. And sorry, not just a bridge, but as a way of losing the fork. One thing we have to remember is that we can set the horizontal sausage somewhere as a way of dismounting. Right, so once we're on top of this thing, it is always possible to walk off of it onto the horizontal sausage. It's just that we don't have a way generally of then getting off of the horizontal sausage safely. And I think in this case that's going to remain true. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Because, like, you could, in theory, the closest thing you could do would be to have it waiting right here, so you could, like, walk the vertical sausage enough to the right that it is recoverable, then walk down onto the horizontal sausage. But once you've done that, how are you going to get back off of that platform? Yeah, no, that's still a problem. We figured out a way to cook 2 of the 3 sausages that requires us to lose the 3rd sausage completely. We just have to figure out a way to unlose it. Or to not care that we lost it. So once it's secured all the way up there, we could, in theory, push it as far as, like, if we were to get on the ground up there, behind it somehow, we could push it as far as Steven standing right here with the fork in the position it's in facing south, and the sausage in these 2 spaces, from which it would absolutely be recoverable, right? However, that ladder up there is in the top of those 3 spaces. Yeah, there's no way. The sausage has to be in the space that has the ladder. So there's no way for us to end up behind it. No, it's definitely just unrecoverable. Yeah, it has to be cooked first. There's no way to do this without cooking it first. I can't carry it up the ladder to our left, because it's the wrong orientation for being carried up that ladder. What I could do, if I could get it lined up correctly, like no, this is really problematic. Because the only way we have of stabbing this thing in the top left quadrant involves the horizontal sausage already being over there, right? In a way that's not... No, it's recoverable. Okay, so there's like a lot of setup work. But sometimes these just have a lot of setup work. I'm sure you've noticed. Okay, so do that. I don't know why I'm pushing this all the way over here. Okay. That allows us to put this where we need it to be. I'm rethinking this now. I guess maybe it didn't even need to be set up that way for this part. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters. So I think actually what I want to do is have this right here. Right here? No, this isn't going to work. I'm going to be able to move this. Right, I'm going to be able to move it. Oop, don't do that yet. I'm going to be able to get this over here, but I'm not going to be able to actually get up on the sausage behind it in any way. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. This would require a very different situation than we have, but I was like, look, we can kind of get it aligned with the platform if only there was some way to like scoop it off there, but it's absolutely not possible for us to scoop it off there. So yeah, I can stab this sausage and just make everything a nightmare. If it were on the southern half of the top sausage, or on this instead, I could poke it from up on the platform, but I wouldn't be able to do the thing I need to do. Yeah, the problem is... Okay, hold on. What if it's like... What if there is a way to do this, though? Okay, do that. Push this to here. Then I can just deposit this thing. No, but there's no way to get it far enough down. And when I climb up right now, all that's going to happen is bad stuff. Yeah, it just ends up down there, which is a place where we definitely don't want it. Because we don't have a way of adjusting its position any more than that. Nope, we don't. The thing is, like, if you roll it here, it ends up where it needs to be. But when it's got something to land on, we don't get the effect of both the roll forward and the slide forward. It only moves one space and then stops. bummer, y'all. Yeah, I don't feel like I'm close to a solution to this one, but I do feel like I have several of the pieces for the solution to this one, if that makes sense. If the distinction there is comprehensible. Like, I think much like the other one earlier today, I feel like there's one like critical understanding here, one missing bit, and I'll get it, and it'll be like, oh, of course, that is exactly how it is done. But I don't think I'm going to figure it out in the next couple of minutes, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and tap out here. I think that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. This game continues. It continues to challenge and to vex, but we're making some kind of progress, even on the puzzles where we haven't been getting it. We're still making some kind of progress, right? We are still doing something that is going to end up helping us. It's going to end up being a critical part of what we're doing in the long run. So when you come back next time, we're definitely going to have we're definitely going to have a solution for this puzzle. I feel like we're on the precipice. Maybe also the first one we started with today. And then there aren't actually that many in this area as a whole. We might be pretty close to moving on. So come back to see what the next nightmare is as well, I guess. And we'll see you then.